tutorial for the competition hair. So you want to start and make sure that you completely brush through the hair so there's no tangles or anything like that. We're going to start with the poof at the front. So what I've done, I've just kind of brushed everything sort of to the back, and then we're just going to take a section from here and then poof it up. So you will need a comb, something like this. If you don't have that, that's okay. Just find something that you can section the hair off with. So if you have bangs, it would be normally kind of where your bangs would be, but just make sure you take a section big enough that you can have a decent sized poof. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be like a certain set amount or anything like that. It's just something to give you kind of a big enough poof. So once you have your section, you'll need to tease this so it'll kind of have some volume in there. So you'll want to just, can you hold this? You'll want to just pick up a section. I'm using some like volumizing hairspray. You don't have to have that. Just if you, whatever hairspray that you have, I would make sure that it is like a firm hairspray or an extra hold, and then just kind of spray around the hair. Good. And you can take your comb, or if you have one, this is like a teasing brush, you can use something like that. So you'll take your comb and then just kind of go in this motion down, and then just kind of tease. And it will look kind of silly at first. So you can just put that forward, and then you just repeat and do the next section. Any section that you are gonna kind of use in your poof, you'll want to tease that so it'll have some volume. So you'll just brush through, spray, and then just keep doing the same thing. And you're just going in a motion like this. And then I kind of just go up a little bit just to give it some more volume, and then you're just combing down. And then we're just going to keep doing that just for a couple more little pieces. If you have trouble getting the hair to tease, if it's really thin, or for some of my level 1 girls that just don't have a lot of hair yet, the more hairspray that you put in, or you can even use like a volumizing powder, or even if you have baby powder, you can just sprinkle that in, spray, and then tease, and that'll give it some texture. So I think we may have enough to do kind of a decent sized poof here. Sometimes if it looks a little crazy, you might just want to brush through it. Make sure you smooth out your tease a little bit. Looks like there's one more piece over here that I'm going to go ahead and get. Because you don't want it to look like a rat's nest or anything like that. So after you tease it, you may need to just smooth it out a little bit. Okay, so after we've got a little bit of volume, you'll need some bobby pins. There's not an exact amount that you'll need. I'm just going to use as many as I can that I think that will make it secure, so if they're jumping or tumbling around, then it's not gonna fly out. So you will gather your poof that you just teased up, kind of just gather the hair there, and after you get it pinned, we can always brush back through it just to make sure that it doesn't look crazy or anything. So you'll want to gather that and then push it kind of forward, and then your first bobby pin you're going to take and you're going to stick it in just straight, okay? And then I'm going to show you how we're going to secure it with the other bobby pins. So you're just going to stick this one in just straight. You may have to stick it, it might be a little bit tough. It is probably going to hurt just a little bit until you get it in there and get it secure. So once you stick it in that first time, it might just hurt a little bit, but once you get it secure, they should be fine. The next one, I take and go the other way, and then I'm going to kind of cross it over the bobby pin that I just put in to make somewhat of an X. Okay. The next one, which should be, I normally use 3, that should be enough. I'm going to take that one and go from the back and put it over top of the 2 that I just crossed. Okay. So as long as it's something like that, just as long as it's secure and it's not going to go anywhere. Okay? So then we're going to check it from the front, and if we need to, just brush it through so it doesn't look ratty or anything like that where we teased it. Okay, so after we get that, for the girls that do have bangs, your bangs will be included in here. Coach Miranda does have some side bangs, so you'll see some little pieces like sticking out and around there. Just hairspray those really good, and they will just kind of fall in line. You shouldn't have any loose hairs. That's why you need maximum hold or like a firming kind of holding hairspray. So we'll go ahead and spray that and just kind of smooth everything in there. Make sure there's no flyaway hairs or anything like that. And then I normally spray like where my pins are too. Just kind of, there's going to be a lot of hairspray in here, so it's okay. Okay, from there, we're going to do our ponytail. You can look down for a second. Your ponytail, it needs to be directly above the poof because you want to be able to see the bow over the poof. So the higher ponytail is going to have the bow sitting up higher, and you'll be able to see it over your poof. Okay, so we'll start from there. I normally just pick up the hair just like you're doing a regular ponytail. Just be cautious of this. You don't want to brush straight this way or you're going to brush that out. So just be careful with that. Otherwise, you're just going to pull all the hair into a ponytail, and then we can lift it and get it higher as we get it up here. Try to make sure when you are putting it in a ponytail that you don't have any bumps on the sides or anything. And then once you get it all up here, then we can brush through those. We just want a smooth ponytail. We don't want to have bumps and lumps or anything in there having it look crazy. So once we have it up here, we're going to push it higher until it's all the way up to where we just did the poof at. Hold this. Okay, so we want to get it as high as possible. Okay, so I'm going to put it right about there. Your hair tie. Okay, then you want to take a regular hair tie. Make sure it's something that is durable. I would not use the little rubber band ones unless you have super thin hair. You want to have something that's going to hold their hair all day long. We are going to put this one in first, and then we will put the bow over top of that. So make sure you have a regular ponytail holder as the anchor for the ponytail. You don't want to try to use it with the one on the bow because it's not going to stay. So we're just going to do a regular ponytail. And then this may hurt just a little, but you might have to just tighten it to get it up a little bit higher. So I'm just going to check that from the front. It looks like we do need to go a little bit higher only because the poof is still covering it a little bit. So I'm going to take this back out and then try to pull it up a little bit higher. Always check it from the front once you get it in there just to see if it's high enough. Look down, because where it is right now, I want it to be probably about right here. So I'm going to try to get it a little bit higher. Brush. Then I'm just kind of working it up there just with my hands, trying to just get it as high as I can. So we're going to try that and see if that might work. Okay, so that looks about where we want it. And as we tease it, it's going to get bigger, so you'll be able to see it a little bit better from the front as well once we do that. Then I'm just going to brush through here just another quick time just to make sure I don't have any tangles, anything like that. Again, on the sides, you can see like it's pretty smooth. You can always run through it like this, and if there are bumps, we can put some bobby pins right there and we can hairspray that so none of the hair should come down. Okay, at this point, before you tease the ponytail, you want to go ahead and put your bow in, because once you tease the ponytail and as it gets bigger, you're not going to be able to get the bow in there. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. So this is a level 2 bow. We're just using it as an example. The hair tie is on the back. The bow will sit to the front. I know that might be different for some of you guys that are usually having it facing the back. It's going to sit to the front. So you're going to take the ponytail holder and put it in from the front. Just be mindful of your poof again, because we don't want to mess that up. So we're going to put this in just like a normal hair bow. And try to wrap it 3 times. Her hair is really thick, because we don't want our bow to come out at competition. Okay, so we have our bow in. You just want to kind of fix that, put it to the middle. Okay, now we're going to work on teasing the hair. Okay, so it's going to be just the same as we did the front. We're just going to take it in sections and try to get the section as a whole, kind of like the whole, like all the way across, like a whole piece. And you'll just do the same thing with whatever you're using to separate. You'll just use the end and kind of separate. And if you get a piece that's too big, you can just go through and pull out a smaller piece, because you want to try to tease as much of it as possible so it'll be bigger and poofier. So again, we're going to take and spray. And if you're having trouble getting your girl's hair to tease, then you can use the baby powder like we talked about for texture. Okay, so you'll just take this, and it's the same kind of back combing we were just doing. So you'll just comb down, and as you can see, it's getting kind of, it's teasing up a little bit. She has some layers in her hair, so that's why it's falling out, but that's okay. And then as you tease, you just kind of put it over and then go with the next one. The more hair you have, this might take a little bit longer. For some of the girls that have thin hair, this may not take as long because there's not going to be as much to do. So you can see it's kind of teasing. I'm just back combing and then I'm throwing it over. Any little pieces that have kind of fell out, you can kind of tease them on their own. So we'll just keep doing this and keep spraying and teasing until we get all of the hair kind of pretty much teased. And then as you do that, just keep flipping it over, and then once we get everything finished, we'll flip it back and then kind of comb it out a little bit and try to get it to be that big ponytail that we want. After we get this tutorial posted, it would be great if you guys could go ahead and try it on your kids. That way, if there are any questions this week at practice and next week, if you guys are unsure, or if you tried it and you had a problem getting your athlete's hair to do what kind of needs to be done, just bring the stuff that you're using and we'll help you at practice. It'll be after practice. Just come and let someone at the front table know, hey, I tried this and I can't get it to work, and we'll help you and figure out what we need to do to get their hairstyles. We do want you to try it ahead of time, just because it's not something you can do in 5 or 10 minutes. So you definitely don't want to be trying it the day of competition, early in the morning or right before you guys leave, and then something go wrong and you can't figure it out, and have a problem with the hairstyle. So definitely try it in advance, just so just so we know if you guys can do it, or if you have any problems or any questions. Coach Miranda is not tender-headed, so I can pretty much just tease and jerk her hair and it doesn't bother her. If you have a kid that